You're on, sir.
Perfect. First off, thanks for coming, and let me speak. Slide is always like a little bit about who am I and why am I here. Patty will probably remember. Anybody else come 15, 16? We did these quite a bit back in the days.
Yeah,
anybody
a
else
few
on any
times.
other ones? Besides Patty.
And they were working with Steve.
Yeah, exactly. So back in the day, has anybody ever read the book called The Go-Giver? The Go? No. Okay. It was. Yeah. Back then, there was a networking group called the Givers, and it was fun. It was based on this book called The Go-Giver. And really, why that's important to me is the whole premise of the book is how can you serve others, and your value is determined on how much value you bring to those around you and your team that you surround yourself with. And I've been to both twice. I think both in 2016. 2017, the reason I kind of fell off the face of the earth is I was trying to sell my old agency that I had to get out of that and start fresh. We had a farmer's agency for 10 years. Great company, but my passion is serving people, and I just was frustrated with the inability to meet most everybody's needs. Again, farmers are a great company. I had a lot of fun. But now we've opened it up in a brokerage. We are down in the old conference room. We started that April, and we're having fun. And it's fun to have fun again. So anyways, there's new beginnings. So the come from contribution is another piece that, I'm not here as a business partner that I'm going to knock on your door and say, hey, have you got any leads for me? You'll probably never hear me ask that. It's probably to my detriment, but I always want to bring something to the table to help you guys grow your business. And it's a simple question. So most often I'll go, do you do flood? Yes. I'd love to have a home policy too, but yeah, I'll help you with the flood. I want to help you keep your deal closed. I want your clients to get in their house or get it sold. So I just want to help you. out, and it's fun, and it's fulfilling. So that's a little bit about me. I'm married for 16 years. Yesterday, had 2 boys, both 4, one 4, one 8. And they go to Antioch Christian Academy with Angie's kids, and it's a great place. We love it. So that's a little bit about me. So today, I'm going to try to get you out of here in 2. These meetings used to last 90 minutes, and I was going 100 miles an hour. Hello. We're going to revise those, and it's 2018. Most everybody is active on Facebook. Back then, a lot of people weren't. So things have changed about what I'm going to talk about today, and it's just going to be some key things. What I would encourage you to do is, if you have more questions, like Patty mentioned, then sometimes for specific running ads and this, that, and the other on properties. And we're going to talk about that later on. Get with me one-on-one, grab coffee, lunch, or you can come to the office and we can schedule some time. I can block it so we can not be interrupted, and I can help you with that process. Because the last thing I want is for you guys lighting $20 bills on fire. We work hard for money, and I just want to help you be smart with how you promote that. So we'll talk about 2018, what's changed, and how. What I'm going to challenge you today is I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to give you different things to think about. Everyone runs their business differently. You do differently, similar in a way, but you do things differently. So the things I'm going to drop on the table for you today is you might pick this piece, pick that piece, and say, I think that's great. I can slide it into here, my 33 touch, which we'll get into. I'm going to put this piece and this piece here to try to help stay in front of my your database. So we'll talk about that. We're going to get into business page versus personal page, because I think a lot of people have some confusion on maybe how to leverage those two and what they're really for. We're talking about boosting posts versus actually using the ads manager, and marketing, what you need to spend. So what was it? I can't even remember when Facebook went public. 15-ish, give or take a year or so.
15.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, it was in 14 or 15.
Okay. So bottom line, they're a publicly traded company, and they're focused on making money. And so that's another reason we'll talk about business page versus personal page. If you want to get seen, you've got to pay for it. And I've been doing advertising, extensive advertising, not necessarily just for me, but for a lot of partners, like for folks like you in your room. I help you market your properties to get listings, to get it sold, but really to pick up buyers. And so there's a certain amount of money you need to spend now, because I know Keller Williams is working on their platform that you kind of plug and play. Is that right, for marketing through Facebook for your properties and stuff? Is that still in the works?
Yeah, they've got stuff going, but we don't have a specific
Okay.
thing that's Facebook.
So once that hit, it may cost you even more money. So the more people get into it, the more money you spend, the more they're gonna show your stuff to other folks that you've targeted as that market, if that makes sense, your target audience, shall I say. So we'll talk about realistic spending and budgets for you guys to think about monthly. So let's kick this off. And if you have any questions, I'm just gonna cruise through this thing so I can get you out of here. If you have questions, stop me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep going. I have a tendency to go above the speed limit. So if you need to slow down, just let me know. So something to think about. You want to leverage it to help be top of mind to your target audience. So you can be, if they think real estate, you want them to think of you, right? Another thing to think about is, do you want to potentially use Facebook to specialize yourself? Maybe it's high-end, maybe it's entry-level first-time home buyers, maybe it's military, you got Tinker 10 minutes from us. So there's all types of niches that maybe some or all of you guys have thought about getting into. You can utilize Facebook to help you get yourself be more well-known in that area, if that makes sense. Commercial real estate, whatever it is. But something I'll put out there, I find myself, you get the alerts, right? And I get on there because I'm gonna make a post. But at the same time, I gotta stop and check all my other alerts. So instead of a 3-minute post, it's 25 minutes later, I look at my clock, oh, I just wasted a lot of time. So I know you guys are very big on blocking out your schedules and stuff like that. We'll talk about that a little bit more, about being more on purpose for doing this. Hey, there's what I just said. So I would recommend any activity or strategy, make sure it's on your calendar. If it's not on your calendar, leave it alone. And we'll get more into reasons why you may divert from that a little bit, but I would just recommend be on purpose so that you don't get sucked into it for 30 minutes or an hour. The next thing you know, it's time for lunch and you didn't do anything that morning. So step one we'll talk about is branding yourself, to kind of piggyback on that. So you've got your database that you guys have in your computer that you use your 33 touch with. You send out emails, you might send out birthday cards, or you might call or text letters, or whatever, however you built that out. You're doing that to try to stay top of mind, right? So the way I think about your selling, you want them to think of you. Your database on Facebook is your friends list. So I would recommend, everybody has their own opinion, but I would recommend reaching out. If they're in your database, send them a friend request. Just because they're a friend, you can exclude them from any posts that you make. You know, if it's an immediate, you can go in and group your friends. And for sake of time, we're not going to get into that. We used to, but when you connect with somebody, you can go into your friends list and there's a drop-down box. You can classify them as a friend, coworker. You can create your own classification of whatever you want to call that group. Put a check mark next to that, and that person's now in that group. So when you go to make a post, you select your audience. You can make it public, friends only. Has anybody looked at that? And when you make a post, you do public, private. Keep going down, and you can select all these little subgroups that you've created. So I would recommend, if you've got your database, bring those people into Facebook. If you don't want them to see something, just exclude them out of that post. You can do your friends group, except if I didn't want Patty to see this post, I can put all my friends, but it'll say exclude Patty Wilson, and she won't see it. So you can do things like that. So some people are really weird about, I don't want all these strangers in my Facebook because I'm posting pictures of my grandkids or kids or whatever. Most of my posts are public. I don't care. So I don't care. I don't mind it. I'm not concerned with any creeping or stalkers or anything like that. It doesn't bother me. Anything sensitive, then yeah, I'll select my friends or immediate family. So just know that you can do that. If you didn't, you can go into your selections and do that. I already mentioned this, but as we go throughout today, if you're taking notes, whatever it is, jot down, hey, my 33 touch, I want to do this with Facebook. Touch on it this way. Maybe it's an instant message, or maybe it's, posting on their Facebook timeline, happy birthday. Every morning I get up before I roll out of bed. First thing I do is I pull up my phone and I try to do all my happy birthdays, even if I have no clue who that person is. It's just, one, it makes them feel good because I might be the only person that said that to that person that day. And I just want to make them feel special, even though they don't know who Scott Godwin is. We're connected somehow. So little things like that, I would encourage you just to get in the habit of doing. I would not do happy birthday from the Scott Godwin Oklahoma insurance professionals. That's a business club, and I just don't like doing it. Some people do. That's cool. Whatever you want to do. I want to touch real quick. Has anybody in here done a video and posted it to Facebook? Would you raise your hand for me? One, two.
What?
Done a video on Facebook and posted it? So maybe 3 or 4. I said this in 2015, I said it in 2016, and it's even more relevant today. You gotta get in front of that camera. And we'll dive more into it later, but if you think back to your niche. If it's high-end homes, if it's first-time buyers, if it's military, you're gonna talk about that 1 to 2 times a week. If this Rockport neighborhood over here, I did a training video or an example video of me standing out in front of Rockport with the Rockport logo in the background and said, hey, it's Scott Godwin with such and such. I just want to kind of give you guys a market update on this specific neighborhood. There's how many homes are on the market. They're selling for X amount % of the list price, blah, 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 days on market and all that stuff. You can target specific neighborhoods, and if you've got 6 or 7, you can just do 1 a week. Well, if you're targeting Southwest Metro or Tuttle or Newcastle, you do that over and over and over, just like the 33 touch in front of them, in front of them, in front of them. You got to be consistent. Let me sidetrack here. You're not going to get business from this day one. This is a long-term gameplay. It's a branding. Now you can post something, you might get a couple of bites, and that's great. But remember, it's a long-term game plan, and don't get frustrated in 2 weeks if you made a video and no one calls you on it. It's a long-term gameplay, so remember that. So I highly recommend, and it doesn't have to be neighborhoods. Do community events, mix it up. But the thing is, if I see a video of somebody, I can determine if I like you or if I don't like you, because that's what everybody's doing. Oh, that person, whatever. I think I can connect with them. I think I can work with them, or I don't. So those people that you're going to connect with, it's just an extra touch, and it's good. When you're, I should have brought them, but I have any cheap tripod you can get off Amazon or whatever, 10, 20 bucks. Some of those that are rubber and completely bend around. What's that? Yeah, or whatever. There's tons of them. The one I did out in front of Rockport, I want to say I stuck it around the stop sign that was right there at the entrance, and it held my phone. So I get 10 bucks, you can get a cheap tripod. If you want to get serious about it, there's a microphone you can get. I think there's 60 or 70 bucks. I gave one away a couple years ago. Have a windsock on it. That way, those of you that are doing videos and stuff like that, the wind just completely drowns out your voice. It's got a little windsock and plug. My phone doesn't have a mic input anymore, so I guess I'm out of luck. But you plug into your mic where you plug your headphones, and I highly recommend it. And then there's one more accessory you can get. It's called an Ollo clip, or OLLO clip. They make them for just about any phone. What it does is I have to take my case off, and it slides right over the camera lens. And there's multiple lenses you can get. There's wide angle, which is what I used all the time, especially if I was going to be in a house. Like if you guys do video tours with your phone, or this, that, and the other, just gives you a wide angle view so you can capture more of the house. I would look at possibly doing an Ollo clip just as an accessory to do videos. Again, it's a branding thing. They can see your picture, they can see your post, but if they get to hear you talk, they can hear you being genuine, they can relate with you, they're much more likely going to reach out to you if they connect with you. So it's just something I highly recommend. It is scary, yep. The first video I ever did, I got to my office at 6 a.m. before anybody showed up, and at 8:30, I was still working on my first ever video that I did. I was scared to death. I looked ticked off. I couldn't smile. And I finally stepped back and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I look mad. I'm angry. So as I did them more, just like with anything, it becomes more natural. And if anything, I'm kind of an introvert even when I talk to people for a living. If anything, I'm more outgoing on that camera now when I do it than I am in real life socializing. So it's kind of weird. So, create your action plan, put it on your calendar, and do it, and be on purpose. And like I said, it's a long-term game plan. So let me ask you this. Does anybody in here know that you can take your database, if it's 1,500 or it's 5,000 or whatever it is, you can take that list, and if you have their name and address, you can upload it into Facebook. And did you know that you can send them specific advertisements that no one sees except for that specific group? You shook your head yes.
I have one going right now.
Okay, good for you. Give it to me, I can help you do that. Again, back to your 33 touch. The way I've done it in the past is you can advertise for $1 as a dollar a day. I'm gonna get ahead of myself a little bit, but I put it at $1 a day. And I'll let it run for a few weeks and then I turn it off. Matter of fact, I used to do it just to the Keller Williams agents, just to prove a point. I turned it off for a while. I put a reminder on my phone to turn it back on. I turn it back on. It tells me if there's 500 people in it, how many times the average person's seen it, 1.1 or 2.3, and I'll turn it off because I don't want to bombard you and go away. So I'll turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. All of this is clicking the on off button on the campaign that you have running. It's super easy. So I can help you with that. You just need their name. As long as the email matches what's in Facebook, it's an easy connection. Otherwise, you can go and build it out, but it's just an easy upload. Bam, you create a picture, you create your content or whatever you want that to say when it comes across your newsfeed, and then you got a touch. So something to think about. How long have you guys been doing that?
Probably like 6 months or so.
Okay, very cool. Any questions? No? We're cruising along, okay. I shortened this up today, so we may get done early and same thing. Turn your phone sideways, unless you're recording a Christmas tree or something that's very vertical. I would highly recommend landscape. If you start landscape, you need to end landscape, otherwise it goes this way in the middle of the video, and when you turn your phone, it will not. Most of the time, it will not change. So whatever you start with, you need to end with. So if you've got something that's vertical and you need more height on it, excuse me, then do it vertical, otherwise use landscape. I have an iPhone, I use iMovie to edit everything. You can start off the part where you reached up and pushed the button and you got your smile on before you started talking, you edit all that out, and at the end where you're touching the button, you edit that out. Excuse me. You also, as far as basic recording tips go, make sure you go into your settings and turn on HD upload. And most of the time, depending on your carrier and the phone, it may not upload in high definition unless you're on the wireless network. So you may need to wait till you get back to the office, because I've had it happen to me. You upload on the scene and it's grainy. And especially if you're giving a house tour, you don't want that, and it's grainy. So upload it in high definition, make sure you're back on network or whatever.
So you said the app is iMovies?
iMovie.
iMovie?
iMovie.
Movie, no S.
That's what I like. There's several of them out there. There's some that are more advanced, but I can't stand spending time learning that stuff. It's easy, and I know how to use it. There's some that are more advanced and that are fancier, that do more. You know, they'll throw text and fancy stuff as you're talking. I just don't. I don't have time for that. I just don't. So iMovie. I'm not sure any Android users in here. Any idea what type of video editing app for your phone? All right, so you can look it up in the App Store, whatever, the Android store, whatever it's called, you know, movie editing, and try one. So I think that's it. Landscape, get yourself a microphone that's got the windsock on it, they're about $60. Do it once or twice a week, video-wise. Post it to your business page, and then share it with your personal page. That's what I recommend, and we'll get into that at this next slide. So, does anybody in here, you don't have to raise your hand, but if you don't have a business page as of right now, okay, don't worry about it. When you get time, make one. My next step is, it really doesn't matter how many likes you have on your business page. Facebook's all about making money. You could have 500 likes, and if you post something on your business page, probably less than maybe 20 to 50 people will actually see it. There's a lot of variable factors in there that could raise or lower that, but just know that I only had 2 likes. I have 500 followers. Well, not all 500 saw it. Same thing as if you have 1,500 friends and you make a post and you get 20 likes, not all 1,500 people see it. They have to throttle back what's posted on your timeline in order for you to never get through the last hour. If we all posted something, you'd never get through it. And so anyways, I'm not gonna get into the tangent, but they throttle back and they regulate what does get shown to people. Your business page is really there to validate that you're a business. You can run ads from your business page, post your listings from your business page. I like to recommend community events. What's going on in the metro, 4th of July? Who was that from the Midwest City office? Did Kristen Johnson or whatever did something that listed where all the fireworks things were going on? I'm not sure if that was her, but I saw that. That was kind of cool. You can do cool things like that. What free summer things can you do with your kids? Stuff like that. It may not be seen by very many, but what you do is you just share it to your personal page. So that's my recommendation. Already talked about community and business content. Post your wins on your business page. You got a closing. You got a listing that's sold over market or multiple offers and stuff like that. And you can share it to your personal page if you want to. And then we talked about running ads. So anytime, like Patty mentioned, she's got a house listed on her Keller Williams site, I imagine.
No,
Just
just
turn it on her
personal.
personal website, and you want to put that in Facebook. You want to market that to a specific target, and whoever's interested in that property, you want to either be directed back to your Facebook listing, or your website listing, or you want their contact information to reach out to them. That's what I specialize in as far as lead generation. And I completely forgot where I was going with that, but
You're gonna tell me how to do it.
We
Tell
will.
everybody how to do it, but they want to.
one-on-one I can't because it's pretty in-depth. I said motion post to run for your business page, yes. You can't run ads from your personal page. You're gonna put it on your business page and you're gonna pay for it, just $1 a day. On your personal page, a lot of you guys do this well, but be yourself. I see out of 4 posts that you make one of them about business. That's a good balance. If you make 3 posts, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4. I wouldn't do the opposite, 4 out of 3. 4 running listings and here's a picture of a kid. Really all my stuff's about the kids. People probably get tired of that, but oh well, that's my Facebook page. But don't overwhelm them or they'll unfollow you, and you don't want that. You just want them to know that you're in the business. I would recommend, some people agree with this and some people don't, when you celebrate a victory, if you're going to a closing, tag the other realtor, tag the closing company. If you want to tag your insurance person, or whoever was involved in that entire process, tag them because they appreciate that. Some people don't agree with that because they don't want the other realtor to get recognition because people might go to that other realtor. That's not coming from contribution. That's not a bold mindset. There's plenty of market share out there. I would suggest tag everybody because everybody appreciates it. Everybody worked hard to get that deal done. I would just encourage you to tag as many people who are involved in it as possible. Anyways, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So just remember, business page, yeah, you're a legit business. Post your business stuff on there. Letting people know who you are, that's going to be done to your personal page and your family, what you're about. If you do a review of a neighborhood, or if you talk about market analysis and more, and you ask for the Tri-City or whatever's going on, put it on your business page and then share it to your personal page. People will see that. And that's where you'll get your most of your organic reach. Organic means something you didn't pay for. The more likes, comments, and shares you get, Facebook opens up to how many more people that gets showed to. Back in our one-on-one class I used to teach back in the day, we kind of went through how that works, likes, comments, and stuff like that. I think most people understand that nowadays. Does anybody not kind of understand how that works? If you make a post and no one engages it in 2 hours, that's not a good thing. A drink, time decay, and stuff like that. You guys know anything about that? No. So real quickly, so when you make a post, and this is something I encourage you guys to do for each other, especially if it's you're listing a house or something like that. If you make a post and no one engages in it in 15 minutes, give or take, instead of showing it to 15% of your friends list, they throttle it back to 5 or 10. more time goes by and no one engages it, they're throwing it way back. It's a relevancy score. It's an algorithm that Facebook has to determine, should we show this to more people? So if you put something out there and you guys all see it and I share it, I comment, great house, blah, 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 Facebook says, oh, wait, that might be kind of important. So instead of 15% or whatever, we're gonna show it to 20 or 25. And if it keeps getting engagement over a long period of time, we're gonna keep opening that up. Yes, ma'am.
I've also heard that reacting to a post instead of just liking it boosts it more. Have you do you have any?
What is the difference in reacting?
So you can like it, which is just hitting the like, but if you hover over where it says like, it'll pop up a heart, a thumbs up, a ha-ha, it's like.
So those are just
They're like other feelings.
Yes.
Well, I'm aware of those, I just didn't know that that was what was considered reacting.
Reaction, yeah. So I've heard that if you react to a post,
That's my advice. So anyways. Budget, we talk about that. If you take this house, Patty.
I had a lot of likes from little men in Nigeria who say hello pretty and how do you get rid of those?
You know, you just ignore it like on your. Do that.
I think that's their point, is how would they come to the table if they don't know about it?
yeah.
That's the issue.
I mean, the valid point, I don't sweat it.
And we can continue to grow. Is that in the cards?
Absolutely.
All right,
Awesome.
because I mean, we can get this to where we're sophisticated about it. It's a definite competitive edge. That is where we're, the marketplace is in that world. And then we have specialized ways to, to find the people we're looking for. We've said for years and years, write the headline to the person that's the probable prospect for that property. Who is the target person? How old are they? Where do they work? What do they make? And this allows that to some degree. And so, but anyway, your spheres of influencers are all there to start with. And that's where we start from the beginning. Who do we talk to when we start our business? The people that already like us, trust, and respect us to begin with. And all we got to do now is get them to remember us. Just one more step, not an easy one, but this is a way to cause the room full of people.
Yes, sir.
The time slot a little bit, and that may have been some of the reason. I know Angie and some others, it was better questions. Anything else? We good?
Come see me.